Hello guys and welcome to MotorBeam. Today is the day I am fanboying over this motorcycle, the BMW 1250 GS, the flagship motorcycle from BMW Motorrad, and I am riding this after 4 years and I am just going crazy over it. I can go gaga all day long, but in today's video I'll tell you 10 reasons why this one makes a lot of sense. Before we begin, subscribe to MotorBeam and don't forget to hit the bell icon. Number one reason is the sheer attention this motorcycle grabs, because look at the size, look at the bulk it carries. This is a big motorcycle. The height of this motorcycle is almost till my nose and you can see that it grabs so much attention. This one comes in a special color. This is a special GS color and look at that. The massive heads coming out of the either end, the tail, the front, the face, everything just says attention. Although this motorcycle is quite big, but then the dimensions are still very nice. The next point is the sheer balance of this motorcycle. Basically you can see that this motorcycle is heavy, close to 249 kgs, but then the weight distribution which is there across the motorcycle is so nice that I am just holding this motorcycle with a tip and it balances itself. I can let it go and it will stay there for at least, like, you can see that. This motorcycle is so very well balanced that you can ride this motorcycle without having any problems at all. The weight distribution is so nice and you can see that the center of gravity is right there where the heads are. Now, say in a case you have dropped this motorcycle. Now this one does not have the protective guards with the GSA gets. That's why I put a mat down so that I don't damage the head. You can lift this motorcycle without having any problems at all. I'll just show it to you. I have to just lock it over here. Put the stand down. That's it. And once you tip it over, you can just let go of the motorcycle because it will stay on the head. That's so freaking nice. Now because of that balance and the capabilities this motorcycle has, well, you can go off-road and ride it on the road. You can go touring on this motorcycle and people have been going the distance on this, and everybody I know has been fanboying over it because this one is a proper mile muncher. Also, if you take it off the road, if you take it on any gravel patches, you just need to get good set of tires. Right now these tires are dual purpose tires, so if I get complete off-road I might lose some grip, but these still support so much. All you have to do is keep a vision up front, look where you want to go, and this bike follows, because the capabilities of this motorcycle is just mad. You've got an aluminum swing arm over here, which is a single-sided swing arm and a monoshock at the rear, and it is a centerpiece unit which is electronically controlled. So this motorcycle is comfortable. But you know what? It does not end here. The best thing is right up front in here. Let's avoid the beak here, but you can see that the telescopic forks are right over here, and this motorcycle is the only motorcycle in the segment to get such a center unit which is again electronically controlled, and then the damping changes and everything changes, and this motorcycle just makes your ride comfortable. It is magical, and the electronic control, like the dynamic ESA, is just brilliant. So what this ESA basically does is it has basically 3 modes: minimum, maximum and auto leveling. And auto leveling is basically it calculates the loads by itself and it levels itself. It has 2 specific modes, that is road and dynamic. In road mode it gets very comfortable, very soft, very plush, and dynamic is basically dynamic. Now the seat height of this motorcycle is close to 820 to 870 mm. I won't show you by sitting on it because I've taken the seat away. However, there is a piece like this which goes right over here and it's set to low mode. Basically the setting over here can also help you set it to low or high for the rider's seat, and there are 2 plugs over here where you can use the rear seat as a lumbar support for you, and you can keep it front or back. So basically for the rider as well as the pillion, the seats are customizable mechanically, and this makes it ergonomically sound. Plus when you sit on the motorcycle, I'll just show it to you, I'll do that. It is so freaking easy to lift this motorcycle up to. It is a very comfortable place to be on. The ergonomics of this motorcycle are really very sound. If you are a tall guy, you will like this by putting the seat up and doing everything of that sort. I am a short guy, 5 feet 6 inches, and even for me, this motorcycle is perfectly sound. Having a visor up front is always beneficial, an adjustable one even better. But this one is not electronically controlled, this one is manually controlled. You have to stretch your hand out, but it is very easy, which makes it even better to use. I actually like it because I can set the angle the way I want it. This bike might look a lot intimidating because of the sheer size it carries, but then again, this one rides really well. When I say this, I definitely mean that this one rides like a toy, and people who own the GS will definitely agree to this, that this one is their most expensive toy because it handles like one. There is no problem with this motorcycle at all in terms of handling, in terms of dynamics, because there is so much control to your handlebar, there is so much feedback going around, that this one still has the best balance going around too with the chassis and the suspension setup. Now as you can see, I am riding it a little slowly, and the red line is a little lower than normal because it is at a cold start. It takes some time to get the heat up, and then the red line will shift to 9000 rpm. But then riding this motorcycle is actually pretty nice. This weighs 249 kgs, but riding in the traffic, riding at slow speed is no problem at all because it has very good road manners. The feedback from the handlebar is just brilliant, and the brakes are actually stupendous. Like the stopping power from this motorcycle, I cannot believe. Like it does lunge quite a lot when the suspension is in the softest mode, but the brake have the best feedback ever, and you can see like filtering through traffic is no problems at all on this motorcycle. The feedback from the handlebar, the overall dynamics are just so brilliant, and even the brakes, like you can see it came to a halt with just a simple tap. That's it. Brakes are brilliant. The next best part of this motorcycle is the powertrain, because it gets a 1254cc motor producing 136 horsepower and 143 Nm of torque. Now that is a lot of torque for this motor. Right now I'm in the road mode. Basically if I get into the pro modes, which are the customizable mode, the power comes in completely, and the torque band is just the widest. At 2500 rpm in the 5th gear, I can jump to the 6th gear itself, and this one will keep on cruising without thinking twice. So the torque band is actually very usable. It goes all the way up to 7500 rpm, and that is what the best part about this boxer engine is. The torque is unlimited. The low end part, the lowest end, like lifting off, it might have some kind of a lunge effect because it just lunges ahead. That's about it. Apart from that, there is no issue from this motorcycle, from this engine at all. It is very refined, very usable. So apart from the lowest low end, the mid range is widespread, and the top end is just crazy. Right now I have a pillion with me, so I won't go hit the top speed, but this one crosses 200 km/h without worrying at all. Set the cruise control to 199 km/h, and this one will cruise. I can actually take my hands off the handlebar without having to worry, because this is such a balanced motorcycle. The overall performance, the powertrain, everything, the riding dynamics, mamma mia. I know that's Italian, but wow. Now performance wise, this one has 4 modes: enduro, dynamic and everything. Enduro basically has a road mode ka power, but thing is that traction goes off, and the moment you do this, it just lifts and goes. So basically the traction control shuts off, the rear ABS shuts off, everything shuts off, and it becomes a mad ride. Apart from that, the dynamic has the most power, rain has the most control. Like everything gets limited in rain. I like the road mode, which are rain and ride are the 2 riding modes, and dynamic pro and enduro pro are the 2 pro customizable modes. Basically 4 modes this one has. That said, the performance is just too nice. There is no vibration at all. If you like standing here, so it just lunged to the left, and that's about it. You can't really complain about this motorcycle because there's no kind of vibration from this. Gearbox work perfectly well, slick shifting, and the clutch is decently heavy, but for a bike of this caliber it feels light because of the hydraulic clutch system, and like so nice. German engineering done perfectly well. However, the best part about this motorcycle is not just the engine, it's the exhaust note from this engine. Let me show it to you. Although this is a twin, it has a unanimous rev throughout, which makes it so much sweeter, and it has a throaty note all again. With a 20-liter fuel tank, you do get good enough range, but then the best part about this motorcycle is the mileage that I have been getting since the time I've got it. I've ridden mostly on the highway. At that time, I've got close to 20 kilometers per liter. After riding it in the city, I've got a balance between 18 kilometers per liter. And then if you ride it solely in the city, you will get close to 15 to 16, which is a good number. But then again, if you go complete off-road, complete berserk on this motorcycle, still 12 kilometers per liter. I know that's a very small number, but think of the number 20. So if you go touring, you get a range of almost 400 kilometers on this motorcycle, which is brilliant. Getting such a good number on this motorcycle is because the shift cam technology it has, which basically has asynchronous valve timing, and that what helps get you the best mileage, because if you open throttle quite a lot, it will shift the cam and you will get more air, more fuel going inside the motor. Otherwise, fuel saving all around. If we talk about the features, this motorcycle has number one favorite for me is basically the all LED setup. It's not just that, it's the headlight, which basically has a gimbal kind of a movement. It has a motor inside which adjusts itself. The moment you start it on, it balances itself first, and then if you like put down quite a bit of load, or if you brake too hard or do any kind of that sort, the headlight adjusts itself accordingly, which is just so mad. To keep you in control, you also have traction control, ABS and all of that sort. Now, you don't have something called as wheelie control, but the traction control works in conjunction with the system itself, keeping the wheel down. If you go into any kind of dynamic pro mode or enduro pro mode where you can adjust the traction and ABS according to your liking, you can actually select multiple variants and select any one where you can go all wheel up all the way, or else if you want to go off the road, there is a setting where you can set the traction to a particular level according to off-road tires as well for the Enduro Pro. Well, that is quite smart. If you think that is not too much, there is another variant of this specific motorcycle called the GSA, which gives you all the bells and whistles that you can expect from this kind of a motorcycle, and that does come at a premium. The 10th and the last reason is basically the fan following this motorcycle has, because it is something to look out for. This is basically an icon from BMW Motorrad, and you guys let me know in the comments below which one is your favorite feature, or if there's anything that I'm missing out on. However, let's talk about the things that I don't like about this. Number one reason is basically it does not have any kind of adaptive cruise control or something like that, like the Baldistada V4S has. So there's no radar system at the front of the bag. Second is that the visor is not the best in the segment, because once you adjust it, my torso is a little bit small, and the cuts and creases, basically the angles which go through this, you can't see through it properly. The second thing is that you've got a very good display right over here which gives you tons of information. But then the switchgear, since I've used it, it has become easy for me, but it gets a little bit difficult. Basically, this is like a joystick where you go up and down, it goes left and right as well. This is a menu select button, and then you can see it changes data all around. So getting used to it might take time. However, the switchgear, the reach for it is a little bit far. So if my hand is here, if I want to use the high beam, I had to actually stretch my finger a little bit, and the horn is also a little far because of this joystick kind of thing coming near. From some specific angles, you can see that the tire seems a little too small. It feels like it has missed leg day. However, you can see that if you slap on any larger tires, you will definitely miss out on the control that you get off the road. Another thing is that the tires make a lot of noise. So once you're crossing 80 kilometers per hour, there's a lot of tire noise coming. The tires grip really well. These are Michelin's, 19 inches at the front, 17 inches at the rear. But the only problem is they make a lot of noise. The tread pattern is suited for dual purpose, but it is noisy. Tire noise. The service and maintenance of the 1250 GS, which is a flagship motorcycle, are okay, but the parts are actually very costly. That's what makes it a little bit upsetting, because you're already paying close to 30 lakhs for this kind of motorcycle. The engine heads do pop out, and it is the standard feature of this motorcycle. It saves your leg. But then in this weather that we are right now, I've been sweating like a pig, and while riding it, things get even worse because it puts down all the heat right then and there. It covers my leg, it actually saves my leg for any kind of damage, but then there is so much heat coming to it that I cannot bear it in such weather, because this motorcycle does get hot. It's a 1250cc motor. It does translate to a lot of heat. It is a hot motorcycle. It is a hot motorcycle. For 26 lakh rupees on road Mumbai, I feel this motorcycle is justified, because you pay a price for it. It has almost all the bells and whistles that you ask from it. It has the attention that you want from it. There are more good points about this motorcycle than the things that you don't like, and I have been nitpicking about it. Apart from those shortcomings, this motorcycle is definitely worth your money. And then again, I have been fanboying it over so much that I'm gonna ride it all day, all night, as much as possible in the next 3 days, because that is what the time I've got with this motorcycle, and again, might not be a chance. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you. Bye bye.